I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable.
To win, you got to lose. To be successful, you got to have something that's not successful. To be happy, you got to have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am and understand the benefits and the privileges I have for being who I am.
What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing today? This is ZB Crypto, Family Cash Machine, coming to you guys live again from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, by way of Compton, California. How did that happen? Whoa, Compton, California, all the way to Santo Domingo. Well, as you guys know, I've been here for over 2 years now, living off my Bitcoins and enjoying my life, having a great time, and also helping my people understand more about money. Now, we're gonna start this video a little differently, but I can't start this video without first having a little bit of Santo Domingo coffee. Ooh-wee. It's the best coffee I've ever had here in Santo Domingo. I like my coffee black, strong, and sweet, just like I like my women. Wow. So let me get into it right now. I'm gonna share a little story with you guys. I'm gonna start off with a kind of funny story about myself. You know, I open up my life like a book, so so I can make my points clear to you guys, okay? Now, I remember growing up, you know, I was probably about, say about 9 years old, and my family traveled, I believe, to New Mexico. And my dad kept asking me that I know how to swim. And I said, yeah, I know how to swim, I know how to swim, I know how to swim. And I was lying, but all of my life I've had so much belief in myself. I had a lot of belief in my own abilities because I had one of those mothers that told me when I was a kid that you could do anything, you could be anything you want, and I believed her. Because, you know, at 5 or 6 or 3, whatever, you don't really know God. You know, your mother is pretty much God to you. So my mom told me that, and then, you know, we went to the swimming pool in Holiday Inn. I'll never forget this. And I got on the diving board. I lined my feet up perfectly. I planted my feet. My dad was watching me. My family was watching me. And I just dove into the deep and couldn't even swim. So I tricked myself to believe I could swim. I had that much belief in myself, but I couldn't swim. I figured, hey, if I can swim in the bathtub, I can swim, you know? But the bathtub and a pool is 2 different things. But lo and behold, my dad had to jump in the water with his clothes on. You know, we're talking about the 70s, so you got a lot of white people there, and my dad is soaking wet, walking back to the room with all his clothes on. It was an embarrassing moment for him, but it was a learning lesson for me. It taught me something about myself. I mean, not at that age, but when I look back at that, I realized that I'm a person that just jump out in the deep end. I'll jump out in the deep end because I have so much belief and conviction and passion about what it is that I do. And I don't ever jump into anything until I fully believe that it's possible. And once I believe it, it doesn't matter what nobody else thinks. I'm gonna jump off the deep end. That's the kind of person I am. And so with that, I want to share with you guys what has happened in this world is we've become so afraid to fail. You know, we're so afraid to fail to where it stagnates us and holds us back from our true potentials. And so I remember reading this book called, it was by Napoleon Hill. A lot of people know this famous author, Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, okay? Well, guess what? He's got another book that he wrote, I think is even more powerful, called Outwitting the Devil. And in Outwitting the Devil, there's an interview of him with the devil. He's talking to the devil. It's kind of creepy, but the devil tells him that failure is the #1 tool that he uses to discourage people and keep people in poverty. And I thought that was very powerful because later on in the book, Napoleon, the devil talked about the step right after failure. Directly after failure, there's success. I mean, immediately after you fail, usually there's success. And so Napoleon said, whoa, hold up, whoa. You said failure is one of the tools that you use, your #1 tool. And the devil said, and then Napoleon Hill said, why is that your #1 tool when right after failure, there's success? The devil's response was, well, out of 10,000 people who fail, only 2 will continue. And I thought that was a staggering response, because that's true. Most of us, when we fail at something, we just give up. We just, oh my God, we just ball up and we just go away. And so that's never been me. I've always been a fighter, you know, and so therefore I'm encouraging people to stay in the game. Whatever it is you're doing, be passionate about it. Don't ever give up, because failure is inevitable. You're gonna have so much failure in whatever it is you're trying to do. It's a process towards success. It's just what it is. Now, if you look at the Wright brothers and how they actually began to fly, it wasn't easy. They actually purchased a huge field. And the huge field that they purchased was just to fall, because they knew they were gonna fall and fall and fall. So they wanted to continue to fall until they eventually figured out how to glide. So again, failure is imperative, but you have to have the passion and the drive to continue. And I'm gonna tell you guys something else about me. Like when I first started cryptocurrency, I got into a company called OneCoin. That company went for a whole year. for Americans. They went for 3 years, but after a whole year, they said Americans couldn't be in anymore. I literally had 500 people in that company. 500 people in that company. I had over $3,500 of my own money in that company, but I knew nothing about crypto. But that was my, my initiation into cryptocurrency. And so when the company announced January, I'll never forget, January 15, 2017, that Americans couldn't be in that company, many of my teammates fell apart. I immediately went into retreat. I immediately went into myself. I immediately went into my belief in myself, and I looked at this industry of cryptocurrency, and I said, this is so much money in this industry. They got to drag me out of this industry with 12 wild horses. I'm going to find a way to make some money in this industry. So I called a good dear friend of mine, Stanley Walker, out of Chicago, because he was also in cryptocurrency. And Stanley Walker showed me, I said, Stanley, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing in this industry? So he showed me the company that he was in. And when he showed me the company he was in, I said, hey, look, teach me this, teach me how this company works, and I'll bring my whole team into this company. Now, mind you, everybody is mourning because they lost money, they lost their spirit, they're kind of down. I'm digging in. I'm going in the deep end. And so once Stanley showed me this company called If Trade, I put $100 in that company, and I made over 714 Ethereums. Anybody know anything about Ethereum? Right now, Ethereum is almost $4,000. But at the time, Ethereum wasn't that expensive, maybe $8, $12 or something. But still, I made over $15,000 at that time off $100. I brought over 180 people in that company. So what I'm saying to you guys is, directly after failure sometime, there is success. That's just how it happens. Recently, our team had some things happen where we ran into some bad investments, whatever. Me, being the person I am, I took that bad investment and I continued to study. I continued to go deep in off the deep end, and I now have found several different powerful avenues where our teammates now are making stupid money, and it came right after a letdown for one of our investments. A lot of our teammates fell off, and the teammates that stayed, they're now in a position to break history. What I mean by that is they invested in a coin that's going to fork off of Ethereum. It has never been done before. It's going to be the largest airdrop ever in the history of the world, and believe me, they got in for dirt cheap, and they're going to make a shitload of money because they believed in themselves and they didn't give up when failure happened. So failure is not really failure. Failure is a lesson. Failure is growth periods. You cannot have success without lessons, without paying your dues, without learning, without mistakes, to eventually correct those mistakes and make yourself better and better and better. I was listening to something that Rick Ross said this morning. And Rick Ross said that there's a lot of good rappers out there, and it took him years to learn this. There's a lot of good rappers, okay? Many good rappers, but there's very few that have passion. You gotta have passion. And he also said that you can fail 10,000 times, but all you need is one time to hit on something big, and then people will say, oh my God, we knew he was always a smart guy. Oh my God, we knew he was successful. Oh my God, everybody want to be on your team. But nobody remembers, or nobody wants to even, entertain all the failures that you went through to become and to get to where you at. So just remember that. That's a principle in the universe. You can't escape that. You're gonna have several losses in order to become successful. I remember Jay-Z. Jay-Z never got a record deal. People don't even realize that. He never got a record deal. He never got a record deal. And his uncle even told him, Jay-Z, you'll never sell 1 million records. He said, how you gonna do that? Jay-Z has sold 1 million records 1 million times because he had belief in himself. He did not listen to what his uncle said. And I'm pretty sure right now his uncle is probably just amazed at all the accomplishments that Jay-Z has made. But again, he never got a record deal. He never got a record deal. He got turned down. So one day he just said, screw it. I'm gonna start my own damn record label. Because the belief in itself. So that's the video today. I just want to talk about that, you guys. You know, a lot of the people in the Family Cash Machine that might have took some losses here or there and fell off, come on back in, because you guys just missed one of the greatest historical events ever in the history of cryptocurrency. Y'all just missed it. Y'all just missed it. Just within a couple of weeks. So some of you guys, I mean, a lot of people are still with us, but I'm saying there is a lot of people that fell off because of some investments that went bad. But you're not gonna win every single time. And I'm so thankful to my football coaches when I grew up, Mr. Dykes, Coach Dykes, wherever you at there in Compton. Shout out to Coach Dykes, whoever knows Dykes. My coach Emery from Compton High, also Danny Benson from Compton High. These are names that people in Compton know. So again, I thank them because as I was growing up, you know, we had some winning teams. We had some teams that was undefeated, but they also taught us how to lose. They taught us to lose with grace. They taught us to lose with character. And they taught us to not be sore losers. So nobody wants to lose, but I'm just telling you guys, this is a part of becoming successful. If you're not losing, you're not learning. How about that? If you're not losing, you're not learning. If you're not losing, you're not growing. So nobody is just born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Nobody I know that I grew up with is just born with just multi-million-dollar talents. I mean, you have to grow into that. You have to learn. And whatever industry you choose, you're gonna run into failures. And eventually, if you got the passion and the drive and the tenacity to stick with it, eventually, all you need is that one win. And that's all I want to say today. Okay, you guys have a great weekend. This is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. You guys have a great one. All right, peace.
Hit the subscribe, please.